Rob here at Etrailer.com, and today you're going to be taking a look at the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2014 Jeep Compass. Now you can see what it's going to look like once we have it installed. It's going to have a really clean factory look to it because that cross tube is going to be completely hidden behind the bumper, and all we're going to see is that receiver tube sticking out. Since it's a Class 3 hitch, it's going to give us that 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, so whether we're towing a trailer, hauling a bike rack, or carrying a cargo carrier, we're going to have a really wide variety of options that we can use. The way we're going to mount any of our accessories is to the hitch pin hole here on the side. Our hitch is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these are not included in the kit, but you can pick them up here at Etrailer.com, along with some locking devices to make sure your accessories are secure. Now if you are planning on towing a trailer, we're going to need a spot to hook up our safety chains. Our safety chain connection point is going to be at the bottom of the receiver tube, welded on. And as you can see, we'll have plenty of room to get most size hooks on or off. And the fact that the hitch pin is just slightly offset from the center means we're going to have less chance of our pin and clip or locking device interfering with our safety chains. Now obviously if you're looking for a hitch, you want to know about the weight capacity to make sure it's going to be up to the task. Our hitch is going to have a 400-pound tongue weight. That's going to be the maximum downward force of the receiver tube. That's going to be plenty for some of those larger bike racks holding up to 4, maybe even 5 bikes, or the larger cargo carriers. Now as far as the gross trailer weight rating goes, it's going to have a 4,000-pound rating. That's how much our hitch can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. But you always want to double check your Compass's owner's manual because you don't want to exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. I'd like to give you a few measurements, and that's going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your hitch, like a ball mount, a bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's right about 5 inches. Now that measurement's going to come in handy when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough room and that they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's right about 13 3/4 inches. That measurement's also going to help you when you're looking for a ball mount to make sure you can match up the appropriate rise or drop for your trailer. And now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's put it on together. To begin our installation, you want to mark out the area that needs to be trimmed on the lower fascia. And we'll find that diagram in our instructions. We're going to find the center point of our fascia, and the easiest way is if we come to these 2 fasteners, measure that distance, cut it in half, and that'll give us our center point. You're going to want to use a pair of tin snips, a rotary tool, or you can use a razor knife if you just want to score it several times before you push too hard. I'm going to be using a rotary tool just to make a quick cut so I can have nice clean lines also. Keep in mind it is always better to cut smaller because we can always take more material away if the hitch doesn't fit, but we can't add it back. With the fascia trimmed out, we're going to need to remove the 4 push pin fasteners that are on the very bottom. So you can grab a flathead screwdriver, and you want to come underneath the center section of the push pin first, kind of pry it out, and that's going to take a lot of the tension off. Once the center is popped out like this, we can come underneath the base, and we can pull the rest of the push pin out. We'll do that for the other remaining 3. We're going to need to lower down our muffler so we have a little bit more room. But before we do, I'm going to put a strap up to make sure it doesn't come down and cause any damage. Just put a little bit of tension on it. And if we move back towards the muffler, on each side we're going to have a rubber isolator on a hanger. We're going to need to remove those. So you can take a little bit of spray lubricant. We're going to spray them down. And the main goal, I'm going to take a pry bar, long screwdriver, whatever you have available, and you're just going to want to pry that isolator off the hanger. So now that we have this removed, we're going to move over to the other side and remove the one off the other side of the muffler. And with those hangers loosened up, I'm going to loosen up the strap so our exhaust can hang down a little bit and we have some room to work with. Now if we look on the side of the frame, we're going to have a hole that's going to go all the way through, one that's going to be pretty close to the back, and then one that's going to be real close to the exhaust hanger here. I'm going to grab the long bolts out of our kit. We'll slide a flat washer in place. And we're going to come from the outside, passing the bolt all the way through till it comes to the inside of the frame. And once it's in there and we know that it's going all the way through, we want to pull it out to where it's still inside, but it's even with the inside of the frame rail. That way we can have room for the hitch to go in. We're going to repeat that for the other hole, as well as on the other side. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up. You're going to want to get the driver's side in first. Kind of have to pull down the exhaust. And we're also going to pull down on the fascia a little bit to make sure we can get behind everything. Now once we have the hitch lifted up, we're just going to push our bolts through until they can at least pass through one side of the hitch. That way it'll hold it up a little bit. Then we're going to want to grab a flange nut out of our kit. We're going to loosely get it started. That way the hitch won't fall down, but we can get the rest of the bolts through. Then once you have that one started, we can rotate the hitch up and we'll get the second nut on that other bolt. I'm going to come back with a 3/4 inch wrench and socket, and I'm going to snug up all my hardware. I'm going to come back with a torque wrench while still using that wrench on the inside to hold the nut. And we're going to torque down all the bolts to the specified amount in the instructions. You want to make sure you go back and repeat that for all your remaining hardware. And with our hitch torqued down, we can lift our exhaust up. We're going to slide them back onto those rubber hangers and then put the push pins back in at the bottom of the fascia. And with our hitch torqued down and everything back in place, that'll finish up the installation and we're ready to hit the road.